Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio, joined by meteorologist Melissa Meter. Melissa, how is your Monday treating you?
This Monday is my Friday.
This Monday is your Friday, so it's an even better Monday than usual.
It is. I had a nice...
And this Monday is my Monday.
Yes. I had a nice, yummy lunch, so things are doing good. You know, the weather is pleasant.
The weather is pleasant for now.
Yes.
It may not be tomorrow, and maybe again on Wednesday.
Yeah. Way to break us with the bad news.
I know. That's my segue. Basically into saying that we are watching out for the potential for a couple rounds of severe weather being possible across the state Tuesday and again on Wednesday. The good news is, there's some small chances past Wednesday, but it kind of looks dry as we look ahead to the upcoming weekend.
Yep. Again
in Lincoln. Obviously, we have the spring game on Saturday, 1 o'clock kickoff. And I think probably, I'd say it's probably going to be dry Saturday afternoon. There could maybe be something in the morning, but I'm going to say it right now. I think it's going to be dry.
I also think it's probably going to be dry. However,
small chance.
It will be cold.
It will be kind of chilly.
It'll be a little bit chilly. We'll get there in a second, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. First thing, we'll talk about that threat for severe weather as we head over the next couple of days. So we start with the SPC outlook for the day tomorrow. And again, a good chunk of the state covered with a marginal risk. Again, so that's 1 out of 5. We're talking about the potential for some isolated severe storms across much of the state. And again, it's hail, large hail being the threat kind of for the eastern half of the state. Yep. And damaging winds kind of being the threat for the western half of the state.
Yeah, so we're primarily going to see this in the later evening hours, around the time most of us are going to bed. So, if you do like to fall asleep to thunderstorms, this may be nice, but also have a good way to, receive weather alerts and weather information from us, from the National Weather Service, using our weather app. And that will likely continue through the early morning hours on Wednesday. And then we'll get a lull in the activity, and then we'll have another chance for rain, thunderstorms, and some severe weather on Wednesday.
And Wednesday, again, we have the marginal in green, kind of from McCook towards Norfolk, Wayne, and then back down to the southeast, but also a slight risk for south central, southeastern, east central sections of the state. That does include Lincoln, Omaha, Beatrice, York, Hebron, and then kind of right out to near Hastings. So again, that's kind of 2 out of 5. So again, in this scenario, we're talking isolated to scattered severe storms being possible. And it looks like kind of the main threat on Wednesday would be large hail.
Yes.
You could see some of those damaging wind gusts, probably some locally heavy rain both days.
Yes.
But large hail being the primary threat on Wednesday.
Yes. The setups are going to be kind of similar in what we're going to see throughout the day on Tuesday and Wednesday. However, Wednesday, likely going to see that severe weather threat a little bit earlier in the day rather than later like what we see on Tuesday.
100%. So we're running through Skycast. Again, this is our in-house model. Again, nothing to worry about tonight, between now and 10 o'clock tonight. Maybe a few clouds, but very quiet conditions. Same goes overnight tonight. Thankfully, Melissa, it's not going to be nearly as cold tonight as it was last night. And then Tuesday morning into the afternoon, again, we're good, but you start to see the clouds thickening up out west. So as we head towards the late afternoon, evening hours, that we begin to at least see that those isolated, those widely scattered showers and thunderstorms begin to pop up across the state. And again, these are really hard to nail down.
Yep.
Again, that's why you see such a big, wide area that has that marginal risk. Again, it's just going to be kind of where the storm pops up and where it develops that we could see some of those severe storms.
Yeah, and that'll continue through the later evening hours as we're heading to bed. 10 o'clock, you see this model puts it over eastern Nebraska. That continues through the early hours, through midnight, and then eventually should be out of the area by we hit Wednesday morning. And then as we head through Wednesday afternoon, another same story, increase in cloud cover throughout the course of the afternoon. And then we are going to see a cold front move through the area. And so as that cold front pushes into southeastern Nebraska, likely going to see that initiate some thunderstorms, possibly some severe thunderstorms like we talked about a second ago. But in the evening hours, and if that cold front starts to initiate things before it gets to the southeastern portion of the state, we could see this move a little bit westward. and vice versa.
It'll all be kind of where that front is, where that
Yes.
front stalls out, that we see that threat for, or where we see that threat for severe weather. So again, something that will hopefully maybe have a finer tune on over the next 24 to 36 hours before the severe weather starts. And again, that likely happens through the evening, but then by late Wednesday night, 10 o'clock, again on the severe threat diminishing for much of the area as those storms begin to push off to the east. So Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, again, hail, wind, tornado threat both days, pretty low.
Yes.
So not a huge concern for tornadoes. Again, you can never rule out an isolated one here or there, but again, really not much of a concern. As far as temperatures are concerned, I mentioned it, but thankfully, Melissa, again, it was 20s and 30s this morning for lows. It was very cold. Again, I think we looked it up last week. I think it's this week is Lincoln's average last freeze of the spring season. So maybe we had that today. We'll find out, but no, we'll look at it.
Don't get your hopes up. That's what I'm saying.
Not as cold tonight as it was last night. We'll look for lows mid-30s to low 40s, in Lincoln lower 40s. Tomorrow should be a nice day in 70s and 80s. A little bit of wind again, kind of here and there, but not too bad for mid-April. Wednesday morning, again, anywhere from the mid-30s in the west to the upper 50s, low 60s in the east. Should be a comfortable morning. Wednesday temperatures, again, not quite as drastic as it was on Friday, but you can see that temperature spread with that cold front cutting across the state. Highs in the mid to upper 50s in the west, upper 70s and low 80s in southeastern parts of the state, 77 in Lincoln. Then behind that front, a little cooler as we head into Thursday morning, mid-20s to mid-40s west to east. Highs on Thursday, upper 40s to maybe mid to upper 60s in the east, 65 in Lincoln. Friday morning, a little cooler. We're looking at low 20s to low to mid 30s, maybe some mid to upper 30s in the far southeast, including in Lincoln, 37. And Friday, kind of another one of those days, Melissa, 40s and 50s for daytime highs, which leads into Saturday morning, where we could see a number of people tailgating. And we have lows anywhere from the upper teens to the lower 30s, right around 30 in Lincoln. Not super ideal for a spring game. We've dealt with much worse. I'm sure the veteran tailgaters will have no issues, but those that might be a little bit more recreational with this being the spring game will likely need to layer up Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, again, we're looking at highs in the mid-40s to low 50s. So again, chilly weather for the spring game, and also, again, probably a little bit of a breeze as well. So Matt Rule talked about it last week. He enjoyed this weather. It kind of simulates, late in season potential weather conditions.
Well, I guess
in the
that's
Big
a
Ten.
good way to look at it.
Hey, you got to find the silver lining somehow. And then really quickly, Sunday morning, again, cold, 20s to near 30 for a low, and then Sunday afternoon, a little bit better, but on the cooler side with 50s and low 60s for high temperatures. So we're kind of continuing that April trend of kind of being all over the place. Severe weather possible the next 2 days, highs in the 70s and 80s. A couple more days of sub-freezing temperatures, maybe by late this weekend. April has a lot to offer us.
It does. Just about every season we can get in just 1 month in April.
Yeah, definitely feels that way. And again, it is our windiest month of the season, and we're expecting, again, more breezy conditions basically off and on really through Saturday. Maybe not quite as much wind Sunday or Monday of next week, but just something we have to deal with. So
we'll get through it, though.
We will, together, as always. All right, I don't think I have anything else. Meteorologist Brandon Rector will have the latest coming up. I mean, the latest. It'll be in 10 minutes, so probably going to be pretty close to what we told you. But if anything changes in the next 10 minutes, Brandon's going to be on it. Chief Meteorologist Ken Chimick will also have the latest at 5, 6, and 10 tonight. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching. And yeah, as always, again, keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of the latest. Hope everyone has a nice Monday.